Have you been invited for an interview and you are wondering how to show up elegantly for that interview? If that is the case, this video is meant for you. So stay tuned until the last end of the episode. How to show up elegantly during an interview. And the first point on my list of notes: learn about the historical culture of that very company. Who are the founders, or rather, who was the founder? What are their core values? What do they specialize in? What is their mission? What is their vision? What are their goals? So that is a very important thing to note. In order to come across as an elegant interviewee, you have to do research about the historical culture of that company. Secondly, arrive at the venue of the interview at least 30 minutes to an hour earlier. As an elegant person, it is imperative for you to master the art of punctuality, and especially when it comes to very important stuff like attending an interview. And I also sense that recruiters, or rather interviewers, they always secretly put a record on one's arrival time during the interview. So I suggest arriving at the venue of the interview at least 30 minutes to an hour earlier is a good idea. And it also prevents you from, rushing the last minute and having all this anxiety and fear because of the possibility of arriving late or even having arrived late. So punctuality is a must in order to come across as an elegant interviewee. Thirdly, wear appropriate outfit suitable for the interview type. The kind of outfit that you will be required to wear for a blue-collar job and the kind of outfit that you will be required to wear for a white-collar job may absolutely differ. Another instance, if you are attending a cabin crew job, you will be required to wear a formal attire. If you are attending, let's say, a modeling audition, you may be required to wear a casual attire. So it's very important for you to note what is the suitable type of attire for that very interview. Another example, if you are going for a jua kali kind of interview, you may come across as queer when you put on suit and a tie. And on the other hand, if you are going for a more corporate kind of interview, you may be required to put on a formal suit, as this will give a good presentation of oneself. To continue, appropriate hairstyle suitable for the interview type. One's hairstyle is very imperative. A good example, if you are attending a cabin crew interview, you are highly likely going to be required to wear a neatly tied low bun or even middle bun. Alternatively, you may be required to wear a French twist as a lady for an hairstyle for a cabin crew interview. On the other hand, if you are going for a modeling audition or even, let's say, another kind of corporate kind of interview, it may be acceptable to loosen out your hair or even just wear a loose sort of hair. So always do research on the suitable hairstyle for the kind of interview that you are attending. Furthermore, wear elegant yet comfortable footwear. I highly recommend pumps, formal pumps, formal high heels, formal brogues. Yeah, I highly recommend those three. I don't think it's a very good idea to put on open flats for an interview, whether it's a formal or casual interview. I highly recommend, pumps, formal high heels, or even formal brogues. Additionally, wear your smile and maintain eye contact with your interview. Maintaining eye contact with your interview will give a good impression of you, and it shows a positive and a good impression of you, and it shows that you are confident. And that is exactly the next point, where your confidence. I mean, what is the point of attending that interview if you don't believe in oneself? As an elegant person, confidence is a very important aspect. So wear your confidence and just believe in yourself when you are attending that interview. Moreover, short, well manicured nails and perfectly pedicured toes are a must. Your grooming is non-negotiable as an elegant woman. The next point, an open and positive body language. You don't want to have a very closed off body language. You want to have a positive aura and a very open, friendly body language. And I also sense that recruiters often pay attention on your body language during an interview. Furthermore, avoid extremely flamboyant or flashy or bright colors, as this may come across as blinding and distracting. I think 90 or 95% of the chances, for most interviews, I think it's prudent to put on outfits and ensure that the colors are not so extravagantly bright and not so vibrant. And I suggest moderate colors, not too dull. You don't have to put on very dull colors. Moderate colors will work best if you want to come across as an elegant woman. Avoid extremely short dresses, short skirts, and short shorts. Also, do not ever overexpose your cleavage. You don't want to overexpose your body, whether it's a casual interview or a formal interview. Remember, overexposing your body parts may give a wrong kind of impression. In some scenarios, it may come across like you are kind of trying to seduce the interviewers, and it may not end up very well for you, as it may give an unwanted kind of impression. To continue, avoid carrying foodstuff as well as food consumption at the venue of the interview. I recommend at least eat something prior to leaving home. Don't eat too much, because again, eating too much, you may feel sleepy and tired and lost during the interview. So eat something light to moderate when you are at home and not at the venue of the interview. At the venue of the interview, you may just carry water, but carrying foodstuffs and you're busy eating and all that, that will be absolutely unacceptable, and it may give a very kind of unclassy impression of you. To continue, do not be a bully towards your fellow interviewees. Some people are just naturally, arrogant and proud and may come across as, bullies. Don't be that kind of woman who bullies the other people during an interview. Remember, elegant women are women who respect others and treat everyone equally, whether you think you are better than them or not. Last but not least, in case of rejection, take it as a redirection towards something better that aligns with your destiny. And just to expound further on this is something that I can highly relate to. I remember there's this one interview that I went to be precise, it was an interview with Etihad Airways, and it was a cabin crew interview. I was very confident and I was like 100% sure I'm going to get this job. And I was really in a very dark phase of my life, and I was very broke, and I really needed this job. And me considering that, having this thought in mind that, I have a background of cabin crew and I was working with one of the best airlines before, Qatar Airways. I mean, this one will be like, I'll be like hot cake for this interview. So obviously I didn't go with that, overconfidence and that kind of attitude, of being overconfident, but I actually really wanted this job considering my situation during that time. So I was eliminated during the final day and the final stages, and I was really disappointed. I remember telling my best friend about this, and she was like, if God hasn't allowed you to get this job, it's because He has something way better in store for you. And you may not see it now, but trust me, Faustine, one day you are going to realize that this rejection was actually redirection to something better. And again, during that during that interview day, one of my friends as well, her name is Betty Muzareka, who was also one of the people who was being interviewed during that Etihad interview. She also encouraged me so much, and she was like, even though she didn't end up getting the job as well, but she saw how disappointed I was, and I think the Holy Spirit was using her to to comfort me and console me. So she was like telling me, all things, don't worry, something better is in store, and maybe God is just pruning you for something better. This season, I know you've been through so much challenges, and God is just pruning you for something better and all that. And let me tell you, today when I look back, I'm like so glad I wasn't recruited for that job, because I feel like right now I'm actually in the path of my destiny and I couldn't be happier. And to be honest, if I was recruited for that job, I don't think I would be happy, to be honest. So I'm really grateful. And I came to realize that rejection is often redirection. So if you master all these points that I have taught you in this episode and still you end up being rejected, please take it positively and understand that sometimes rejection is redirection. I'm really in a happy place. I'm so peaceful. God is providing for me, and I'm really in the path my path is aligned with my destiny, because I noticed that I am more entrepreneurial and more of a creator and all that, but that is a story for another day. So in case of rejection, just be composed, just be positive, and take it as a redirection towards something better that aligns with your destiny. Do not be a noisemaker during the interview. This is another point. You don't want to come across as one of those people who is chatty and yappy, and you're distracting everyone, you're distracting even the interviewers from carrying the interview. So minimize noise and don't be a noise maker. Wear a subtle yet an elegant and delectable perfume. You don't want to wear a very shouting perfume, and you don't want to wear an intoxicating perfume. A subtle yet elegant and delectable perfume goes a long way. Lastly, wear a subtle, flawless and captivating makeup like the one I'm wearing now. Today I'm wearing a nude kind of makeup, so you can never go wrong with a nude kind of makeup, especially for an interview. So that is it for this episode. I hope that you learned some gems that will help you, especially if you're the kind of person who's looking forward to going for an interview. You've been watching Faustine Love TV, and I am Faustine Love. See you on my next episode. Bye.